What is going on, guys? Jack here and welcome to episode 62 of the Pentagon Challenge, here with Vitória in the Brazilian First Division. Today's going to be a slightly shorter episode, I'll explain why shortly. But just a quick overview of the club. Obviously, last episode was the kind of pre-season stuff. I've done the state championship thus far. We won the league again in terms of the group stage. We only drew one game, which is a bit of a surprise because we didn't even draw to our main rivals, Bahia. We actually drew to, let me find where it was. We drew to, I don't even know who we drew to. Let's just have a look at their squad. It was a bad result. Their best player is this guy. Yeah, it wasn't a good result. But no, you know, we won the league. And then we've won our semi-final comfortably, which means that we go into the final against Bahia, which is over 2 legs, which I'm not doing this episode because next episode is going to be the state final and the Copa Libertadores quarter-final first leg, and the state final second leg and the Copa Libertadores second leg. Does that make sense? We're going to break it up into 2 episodes, but I thought I'd just give you the rundown on what's been happening at the club. So we've had the State League, but probably more interesting for you guys, we've had the Copa Libertadores, which is, for those of you who don't know, the Champions League. So that is the thing that I've got to concentrate on here. So we've done the group stage, which was all done in the pre-season. You'll see here that in our 6 games, we won 5 and only lost 1, which is pretty decent. Unfortunately, we did finish second in our group, and that is going to make things interesting because it does mean kind of with all the group stages that we will potentially get a tougher team, which I guess we arguably did. In the next round, we did get once Coldars. I don't know what country are they from. They won their Group G. They actually finished ahead of Chivas, our former club, on this playthrough. They're in the Colombian First Division, but we did beat them. They are the champions of Colombia, so they're a good side. You know, I can't really argue against their contribution. But we did beat them 7-0 over the 2 legs, kind of confirming what I thought about the fact that Brazilian football as a whole were at a higher standard than the rest of the continent. We have got Palmeiras coming up in the quarter-final. They, of course, knocked us out in the previous leg, so I do want to get a bit of revenge on them if possible. But we'll have a look over the group stage. So we kicked it off with a really good 1-0 win against Estudiantes, who are a very good team. I believe they're in Argentina. They are indeed. They're a good squad. We outplayed them. Samba got the goal for us, continued his superb record from last season, the Gambian. And, you know, it probably should have been more than 1-0. At the end of the day, 1-0 was a good result, but given the stats, the goal difference did cost us first place in our group and has left us with this kind of tougher tie that we now find ourselves in. But on the back of this, we did get some big wins. We got a 4-1 win against Deportivo Táchira. 32 shots, they had 3. I mean, no disrespect to Venezuelan football, but it seems like a bit of a mix match having them play against us. 4 different goal scorers, Samba getting on the score sheet, Ramon, Nicao and Ancheta. So that was a good result for the goal difference. Followed this up with a 5-1 win. Kenneth Barbar grabbing 2. Samba again and Nicao again. Good to see kind of consistent goal scorers getting on the score sheet for us. We played better than them across the game, and we did follow this up, I believe, with a 4-1 or another 3-1 win against Defensor Sporting. Is this meant to be a goal highlight? I don't know what we're watching here. Oh, I know. I had the speed hack on, so we're playing in super slow-mo. Derp. Let me speed that up. There we go. Now we're at normal speed. I did wonder why Josival was kind of moonwalking towards the... Actually, no, moonwalking would mean he was going backwards. He was kind of gliding demonically towards the ball. That was really weird to watch. But anyway, this game 5-1. In all honesty, we probably deserve more goals against Estudiantes in the first game where we only won 1-0. This game, they gave us a match, to be fair. I mean, we were away, so they did have the advantage of home advantage, but we were really clinical with the ball, and the 5-1 kind of win, I guess, epitomised that in many regards. Kenneth Barber playing well. It's great to see him and Samba and Ancheta really continue their kind of little partnership trio Up front, I have dropped Samba back again this year towards centre mid. It's given Nikau a run out at centre attacking mid. I'll come on to how the squad lines up shortly. But there's not been any additions to the squad. But fortunately for me, I've been able to keep hold of most of the big names. And so financially, although we're not in the best position ever, we're not overspending on the wage budget. Transfer budget's fine. Obviously, the financial situation itself isn't ideal. We did have a takeover done. Unfortunately for us, they didn't wipe clean all the debt, and the club is set to continue to make losses. It's going to be tough to kind of work at a profitable level as well. But we'll take things as they go. Obviously, we're in the Copa Libertadores. If we can continue to kind of finish top 5 next season, or this coming season, I suppose, as it is now, I hope the money won't be too big or an issue. I mean, we have a chance at the Copa Libertadores, if you ask me. We've got Palmeiras in the next leg, who we did dominate on the last game of the season in the league. We did win 3-2. It probably should have been more. But if we turn up against them, we can certainly kind of outplay them and definitely, I believe at least, give them more than a match in the quarterfinals. And then you never really know. Once you're in the semi-finals of a cup, you're in with a shout. But anyway, this game finished 5-1. 3 goals coming in the first half to make it 3-1. We got 2 more. Nikau getting a goal there. Obviously, he came in last summer. He didn't get too many appearances, but he's been given more than a chance this year, and he is kind of coming good for us. The final goal of the game was an odd one, to be honest. They break on the attack, and then we just break back. Comical dribbling by one of their players. Loads of space ahead. Ramon, the wing-back, gets the ball in, and it falls to Bar to get his second goal of the game. And we won 5-1. On the back of this, a 3-1 win and a 4-0 win. Kind of standard stuff as you'd expect. The Sporting result was even more dominant than the 5-1 win we had, but you know how football is. We only won that one 3-1, which is kind of odd. And we followed it up with a 4-0 win against Deportivo Táchira. Another good result, another good performance. Dominated them. Not a lot more to say. Unfortunately, however, we took a bit of a shock when we lost 3-0 at Estudiantes, which ruined our goal difference because obviously it provided a swing of 3 goals. But this game we just didn't perform. I mean, statistically we weren't terrible, and the game probably, if you looked on paper, you'd be saying, oh, it's probably going to finish a draw there. But they were just superb. They were clinical. You'll see here, Coluso with a turn of pace, gets the ball into the box, Petaro with the finish. Poor play by us, but a good goal. I can't argue against it. Then they got 2 more goals in the second half. First one came from a corner here. Scrappy defending, but just not good enough. And then with the game slipping away from us and having committed more men to the attack, in the 60th minute, we ended up getting hit on the counter. You see, we break through here. You think, oh, that's a chance your way, but they work the ball nicely up the field. Fairly direct play. It catches us out. I mean, despite the fact we've got 5 at the back here, they seem to just peel off our men, and the man marking just wasn't working for us. So maybe something to look at is training our defence to be more kind of aware, I suppose. But it was good play by them. They got the ball through there, and it was a good goal. So as things finished, as you've seen, we finished 3rd in our league. Then in the knockout stage, we did beat once Caldas, the Colombian team, quite comfortably, 7-0 on aggregate, and we've got the final coming up, or quarter-final coming up, I should say. So look at the transfer centre. You guys can see here, nothing on the ins, nothing on the outs. If I go to history, a few players gone out on the out. Mostly kind of backup players, a few young players. A few guys gone out on loan, like Torbate here. He's not young necessarily, but 26-year-old. I think he has something to offer the first team. It's just a case of, I don't know, giving him some loan time. If he comes back and he's a completely different player, he'll get a chance. But at the moment, I'm content with kind of the amount of strikers I have. And just to get him off the wage budget is really nice. So that's that. Looking at finances, minus £4 million, which is shocking. Financially, our wage budget's £302,000. We're currently spending £304,000, but that really doesn't explain kind of the mass loss in money. It's weird because the club only got bought for £12.5 million, and we're in this amount of debt, and I don't think we're going to get bought out of it. And we already have loans as a club for the debt, and it does leave me a little worried. It has to be said, we have loans that we're already paying back at £100,000 a month. and they're going to continue coming in. I don't want to have to take out another loan, or the board rather, to take out another loan to get rid of the existing loan, because that's exactly what happened at Beijing IT, and it didn't work for us. It's a little bit frustrating in many ways that, despite the fact I've kind of stayed, I guess, between and within the restrictions that the board set in terms of the wage budget, the fact that we are still losing money is annoying. But it's one of those things, I suppose. Looking at the goal scorers, this is a combination of the league and the state championship and the Copa Libertadores. Top goal scorers here. Poison is top goal scorer with 22 goals. You guys know what to expect of this guy. Somewhat of a surprise might be to some is Felix Sam Anago. What a name, Felix Samaniego. I one day I will get that name to roll off my tongue. But this guy, the 6'9" Paraguayan, he scored 17 in 16. Great turn back for him, and he hasn't broken into the first team last season, but this season you can guarantee and bet your bottom dollar he's going to get a chance in the first team. Nikau getting on the score sheet as well with 14 goals. This guy came in on a free at the start of last season, or rather, no, sorry, in the summer last season. He's made an impact. Kenneth Barber as well, getting 10's been good for us. On the assist front, Ramon, the left wing back, getting 11 assists already is decent. Nikau and Barber and Poison, I guess, all contributing well as well, which is really good to see. Top performers, Aputa has been up there. He's only made 4 appearances, but when he's been called upon, the young Congolese players certainly done his job. He's not had any more appearances for the Democratic Republic of Congo, but I'm hoping he will get a call up sooner rather than later. Kenneth Barber has been the real kind of top performer of the players who perform and play regularly, and Sammy Anego comes a close second with Poison behind, which is less than kind of surprising. On the financial front, obviously we are losing money, and so I have got to look at what will I do if we continue to lose money. Looking at players I could potentially sell. Alex here, a player that might go out. He's worth £6 million. I could probably get a little bit more than that for him. He's one of the big kind of assets at the club. His wages are pretty hefty as well, so he might be a player I have to look to get off the wages. Wellington Nem as well, a player who I'd like to get rid of in the summer window if possible. His contract does run out at the end of the season. At the end of next season. But the way things stand, I don't think I'm going to be renewing the contract. He's getting old. He's 32 now. He's a liability to the club, and I really wish I could get him off the wages, but I can't at the moment, unfortunately, which is a shame. But no, that's kind of the financial stuff, I guess. Looking at the league table, no games have been played yet. In terms of our club's expectation, people are betting on us to come 8th. Again, I'd like to finish top 5. I've made it onto the favourite personnel, which is pretty cool. And hopefully I can continue to stay there. It'd be pretty sick if we could stick with Vitoria, maybe get up a little bit more. Obviously, the run in the Copa Libertadores is the main thing I need to focus on now, because it's a competition we have to be successful in. The clubs in the quarterfinal, mostly Brazilian. There's an all-Argentinian affair with Lanús taking on Estudiantes, which is probably going to result in a weaker team coming in. Obviously, I have to be hesitant of saying this because I got beaten 3-0 by one of the sides. Pachuca in Mexico have a chance against Cruzeiro and Atlético Nacional. Also have a chance against Corinthians. Realistically, I could see it being us, Cruzeiro and Corinthians, and then Estudiantes making it into the final 4, which would be tough. But it'd be a challenge I'd relish, and obviously Corinthians and Cruzeiro finished above me in the league last year. However, I believe I did in fact beat both of them. So you never know, It's a funny old league. We drew with Corinthians and lost 2-0, and then against Cruzeiro we actually won and drew. So I guess I fancy myself against either of those sides on our day. It's just a case of how things go. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap things up there. Really not too much to tell you about. Obviously, next episode's the one to look out for, as it will be the big games as they start to kind of come in against some big clubs. Obviously, we've got the the final and the quarter-final to look forward to. They're going to be big games. Hopefully, you're looking forward to them. other than that, hopefully you've enjoyed the video as always. If you give the video a like, helps me out. Leave a comment. Let me know where you think I'm going to finish last year. I asked people this, previous season. Lots of people said third and fourth. So if you got third, you were right last year. Let me know where you think I'm going to finish this year. Obviously, not too much weakening gone to the squad, but not much strengthening either. So it's going to be interesting to see how things shape up. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching, as I've already said. If you give the video a like, I'm repeating myself here, who cares? Guys, I will talk to you in a bit. It is me, Jack, and I'm out.